What's up? What's up? Let me know if you can hear me, man. All right, there we go. Phantom, how you doing, man? Thank you for joining. You got any audio? Let me know if the audio is working. It's taking me a little bit of time to get the okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Taking me a little bit of time to get the audio working tonight. It's been about a month since I live streamed, so appreciate you letting me know. Are you new to the content on my channel? I've never seen your name in one of the streams before. Gotcha. Okay. What I wanted to do was go over some I wanted to show some Chiefs offense versus the Bengals and then compare that to the Chiefs offense in the playoffs, mostly against the Bills. But I've enjoyed. Okay, gotcha. Understood, Phantom. Well, thank you for joining. Uh-oh. Says the stream isn't running. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm getting bad messages. I'm getting some bad messages from my streaming software. There we go. Understood, Phantom. You said you just normally don't say anything. No problem, man. Appreciate you joining and commenting and let me know that there was some actual audio running. I've done a couple of, I guess one actual preview video showing some stuff from the last game, some things that I thought the Bengals did to make things. Of course, I'm getting another error. Maybe the stream stuff just isn't meant to be. It's taken me about a month to get this stream back functioning properly. And now each time that I try to operate it, I keep getting an error. Says there's not enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Okay. Well, I'd planned on going over some of the stuff I thought the Chiefs would have to do. I think they're going to have to run the ball some more. Okay, great, thank you. I think they're going to have to run the ball some more. I believe in the previous game that they had 135 yards rushing, maybe even 150 or so. I think Williams had 12 for 88. So that's going to be there, if you ask me. I don't think the Bengals are going to do a ton differently. One of the things the Bengals do consistently that I would think would open them up to the run more, but it just does not, is they vacate on motion. And I think the Chiefs in the second half of the regular season game, the Chiefs kind of went away from motion. So here you see motion going across the formation. And I covered this in a video earlier today. One thing that the Bengals do is they take that inside linebacker and they motion him out. He goes out with the motion. And this is common for what the Bengals do in their system, because what they don't want to do, they don't want to roll a safety up and roll to cover 3. They don't want to. I guess the old school 52 or 3-4, call would be sky. They don't want to roll the safety up, or at least they don't do it that often. Let me phrase it that way. When they don't want to move the inside linebacker out of the box. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I think it vacates a guy in the run game. It makes them a little less powerful, a little less stout against the run. It hasn't killed them though this year, but the Chiefs did run the ball against them well the first game. Like I said, I believe it was 135 or 145 on the ground for the Chiefs, and I think some of that will be there tomorrow. I identified this as a play where I thought Kelsey and Mahomes, one of them didn't read it the way the other one did. Mahomes reads this as a give to the back, and Kelsey, if he is reading it, which I think he is, he reads it as what should be a keep because he runs out in the flats and he even looks back like he's expecting the ball to be thrown to him. He's looking back to see if Mahomes kept it or gave it. It's a dual read. They're both reading the DN, which I think is Hubbard there. They're both reading this DN, or outside linebacker, whatever you want to call him, Hubbard. And Mahomes reads it as a give because he gives the ball. And Kelsey doesn't kick the guy out. Kelsey just keeps running out into the flats. So, but in any case, they still ran the ball well. I talked about it in the video I did. This little safety on the motion going away. He inserts into the, I think the backside A-gap and helps get involved. And then the DN also gets involved. So I think the Chiefs are going to run the ball a little more tomorrow, or at least it's available to them. Let me rephrase that. It's available to them if the Bengals continue to play things the way that they do. Now, when they don't want to walk the inside linebacker out of the box, what they do is they set the strong safety down opposite where they think the motion is coming from. So if motion happened here, it would not be this inside linebacker running out with the motion. It would probably be this guy 24. It would be my guess. Or they could corner force it and then roll this safety back to half field and then bump these guys over 156. Thank you, Phantom. Wow, it was more than I thought. Then I knew they ran the ball well, and I know Mahomes had I think he had a 17-yard scramble and maybe a 9 or 10-yard scramble in there. So he had a big day. He had 2 big plays there. But anyway, they were. One of the things the Bengals have done all year long is run that inside linebacker. The Ravens did it. The Ravens used this motion with Marquise Brown. I covered this in a video earlier today. And Marquise Brown ran that wheel, and there was an inside backer chasing him. And everybody, correctly so, everybody said, hey, why didn't Lamar look to throw to Marquise Brown there? There was definitely an opportunity to make a play. I have been an admirer of the Bengals defense all year, and after watching this second half, of course the Chiefs only had 3 possessions, so it's not like the Chiefs had 6 possessions in one half and couldn't make anything happen. We know the deeper they get into a game, in some cases the better they are because their coaching staff, Bieniemy and Andy Reid, have figured some things out. Mahomes and those players are smart too. So it could be a situation where they getting a second look at the Bengals defense. They're able to do more. One thing I don't think they're going to be able to do consistently is line up like this in the eye and run the ball right at the Bengals in even a 7-man front like this. This is a 3-4 look. The Bengals are generally an even front team, so a 4-3 team, but they do have a 3-4 look here. They're multiple. Let me put it that way. Let me kind of rephrase that. They're very multiple. They in my opinion are a 4-3 team, but they have gotten into a 3-4 look all year long when they wanted to. In this case, they wanted to, and these guys fit it up perfectly. That's the front side inside linebacker right here, smacking the pulling guard in the mouth. The pulling guard here, 73 is going to pull around, and 51 is going to smack him in the mouth and condense that gap. 94 is going to step down, and things are condensed very well there. The backside A gap is being held by this D tackle. You watch him. If you watch him, they try to back block him with the right guard, and he gets nice extension. I mean, there's nowhere for the back to go. He can't go here. You got the D tackle on the backside A, plus you have a safety here. You got good wall backside. So I don't think that getting in the eye is going to be there. I think the run game could be a larger piece for the Chiefs than people are used to, but I think it'll be out of 11 personnel like I showed you guys a couple plays ago. I think this is a 3rd down or maybe a 2nd down where Flowers kind of molests Travis Kelsey, who drops it under a little bit of duress. I would expect him to make that play most of the time. And then the next one, they play this really cool coverage. Anyway, I want to get to the next possession. This is a 3rd down. They play this really cool coverage. where I think it's Awuzie and this other, I hope I'm saying that name right, and this other safety are essentially bracketing Tyreek Hill. Hill is here. And regardless of what kind of stem he takes, they're gonna leverage it up. You know, if he was to run all the way across the field, then this guy would obviously run with him, and 22 would, you know, either stay on the backside hip or cut off and then look for some help. You know, any other crossers or something. But they did a cool job with this coverage. This guy 21, who's a real versatile player, the guy who just filled in the B gap a minute ago, is going to come off with this route and almost pick it off. And then they do this little bump technique on Kelsey, just a slight redirect to help out Flowers over here, man-to-man. Not much of a redirect, but a slight one. I forget who it was, some jackass like a month ago on a stream of mine said that three-man rushes never work against good quarterbacks. They pick it apart. So here's an example of a three-man rush working. I'm not saying that that's all you should do, obviously, but 55 steps forward. He's only stepping forward to occupy this. Joshua, what's up, man? Thank you for jumping in on the new channel. Appreciate it. Hope things are going good. 55, Wilson, is only there to occupy this running back and or this left guard. The running back was previously set back here. I did not show that on this film. I believe once he walks up here, I think the Bengals know that obviously he's going to be a part of the pass pro. The Bengals do the same thing. They walk the running back up to help out with the pass pro. In any case, 55 steps forward. The guard steps down with the center on the nose here. So they get two guys on the nose. And then the back is responsible for Wilson. So Wilson kind of backs off. And what that's done is it gets a one-on-one for this left tackle in Hendrickson. From watching Hendrickson all year, first of all, he's a really good football player. I really like him. I did a preview video of him in the preseason kind of saying I thought he would do well. But I feel like he's better against the pass than he is against the run. And I don't have any data I'm referring to with that. I don't watch PFF. I think PFF is dog shit. But Hendrickson on film did not look great against the run, against the Titans, like some of these other guys did for the Bengals. He looks much better against the pass. And I know he's been playing hurt too. But in any case, right here, great coverage, three-man rush. DN gets home. Really cool. I mean, how often can they do this against the Chiefs? A three-man rush? I don't know. But, I mean, we saw this as Ravens fans back in week 2 when there was a tight alignment by Kelsey. We had Owe jam him up a little bit. I think McPhee jammed him one time. Maybe Justin Houston one time. And you know, he's a tight end, but he's a receiver. He's a great receiver. He's a great tight end. He's a Hall of Famer. But he doesn't want people putting their hands on him. Just like any receiver. He doesn't want that. He wants, you know, he doesn't want that. He wants to run his route. He wants to catch the ball. He wants to contribute because he's a great player. They may have to do some of this stuff. And I think the Bengals are smart enough to have some of this stuff installed. You know, it's a two-man rush with a delayed rush by this guy. 55 is just occupying the running back. That's it. He is not trying to rush. You can see he peels out. All they were trying to do was get the one-on-one for Hendrickson. And these tackles, they're not bad players at all, but Hendrickson and Hubbard can beat them, you know, at times. So what I wanted to do, Joshua, if you're still in here, I wanted to go over the three possessions that the Chiefs had in the second half against the Bengals. Well, I got bad news for people that might be rooting against the Bengals. I think they can compete with them. Well, they clearly can. They beat them in the first time. They beat them the first time they played them. Of course, that game was, you know, in Cincinnati. How's it going, EC? I was trying to catch up on the chat. The Bengals love this look. And in this case, they've done it with one of the inside linebackers walked up. They love a six-man front. They love a six-man. Against the Ravens, they played a 6-2 when we had Pat Ricard on the field. Josh Enser, I'm not sure, man. I don't have enough. I have 6 Michigan films, okay, for defense, which is wonderful. I think 5 of them are from 2021 and 1 is from 2020. but I don't have enough to make a statement about McDonald personally. I do know someone who's been on the field with him and who knows him and has confirmed for me that is an exceptionally bright football mind. But that is very little information, for me to make a judgment. So I can't. Me personally, I was partial to, is it Richards, that had been with Seattle for years. Me personally, I was partial to him, but I was don't know anything about the interviews and all that shit, so I can't really give an assessment about one guy being better than the other. I do think it's a little unusual that McDonald was only a DC for 1 year at the college level. Maybe the Ravens kind of knew that he was headed towards that path, so maybe that was I don't want to say part of the plan, but that was something that was expected. Let me get back to that, Josh. But in any case, look, you see this. What I mean by 6'2", or 6'1", you've got an inside linebacker here, 51. This guy is a 93 is a DN or an OLB if they're playing 3-4, and then they've got 4 interior guys in. So to me, they're in what would be their 3-4 look, but they've walked this guy out, or he is out in a 9 technique, a wide 9, and then this guy's playing head up in a 4. Yeah, Josh. I mean, first of all, good question. I haven't commented in any way because I haven't broken down the film from a coordinator standpoint. I mean, I did videos on Aiden Hutchinson and David Ojabo, and they got me in trouble with copyright stuff, by the way, on my old channel now. But I did videos on those guys, and it was fun as hell to do and look at some other stuff. But I didn't look at it from the standpoint of what Michigan's doing and what kind of DC is McDonald. I mean, to me, he's an odd front guy. He's a 3-4 guy. At least that's what I see. So that doesn't change for us. I didn't see as much man. I certainly didn't see all the crazy twisting stunt blitzes that Wink Martindale used a lot of in previous years. So from that standpoint, maybe there is going to be a little bit of a difference there. That would be an observation I think I could make, but I couldn't make an observation on, potential effectiveness of that guy. I agree, Josh. You're right. Totally agree there. I think the Bengals played really well defensively against the Titans, but I thought the Titans, just to be completely honest, gave that one away. Their defense played lights out. I know they gave up 350 or 360 to Joe Burrow. They had a 57-yard play to Chase, and I thought they had another long play to T. Higgins that was like 29 or 30 yards. I thought that Joe Burrow did a lot of dink and dunk against Tennessee. I did not see, they seemed to really take Chase out of the game, or that was their focus. I agree, Alan. What's up, man? How you doing? To me, that seemed like a game that if they play 10 times, that Tennessee wins 6, 7 of those games, something like that. They win the majority. I was really shocked at a couple of Tennessee's calls. But, to be honest with you, again, the Bengals defense deserves credit. They're intelligent. They play on the correct leverage side. They always seem to be in the right... Yeah, true. Good point, Alan. A 35-yarder in garbage time. True. The Bengals defense always seems to be in the right coverage call. And I think that is their coaches preparing them. Look, and this happens all the time. This isn't anything special, but you've got guys communicating right before the ball is snapped. They're communicating, and that I feel like I see that all the time out of the Bengals, and it should happen. It's a given. I understand that. It's an NFL team. They should communicate. Hey, look, I'm going to be honest with you. The last 2 years, the Ravens' defense has not communicated pre-snap. Some of those things that Ed Reed said that people interpreted as being against John Harbaugh, maybe they were against John Harbaugh. But I'm going to be honest with you, some of them was a referendum on the players, to be real. Hendrickson's getting a feel a little bit here. Hendrickson is, this is a little juvenile, if you ask me. He's flying upfield. I mean, I think that's what down and distance is at. That's 2nd and 10, right? I don't think this guy's giving him this. To me, this isn't like this real great pass set by this tackle that gives him a pass read. That guy. I mean, oops, my bad. I don't know why. I don't know why Hendrickson's reading this as such a abrupt pass read, and he's flying upfield. You know, he's creating that gap. You know, I did not know. I'll be honest with you. I did not watch this possession in real detail today. It was not like I knew. It's not like I knew that this was going to come. But like if you remember 2 or 3 minutes ago, I said Hendrickson doesn't appear as good against the run. I agree with you guys, Alan and Joshua. I agree. I did not interpret it as this terrible statement about Harbaugh. I mean, maybe there was some slight toward Harbaugh from Ed Reed there. I don't know, but Ed Reed is I view him as such a class act. I don't think he would. I think if he was going to do that, he would say Harbaugh specifically, and maybe he did. I didn't listen to it. I don't pay attention to that shit, other than people on Twitter. So, but Joshua, going back to something you said, Cincinnati got away with some horrible situational awareness on their last drive. I would agree. And they're in a light box here. I mean, look at what they're in. They're in a 4-1. You know, they're in a really light box on 2nd and 10. You got 4 down linemen. You got 1 inside backer, and that's a safety. That's a corner. A safety. That's a nickel. That's a corner. This is like dime. This is true dime. 6 DBs, 4 down linemen, and 1 inside backer. Poor choice on second and 1. Especially given that Hendrickson was getting upfield. And he's had a great, correct me if I'm wrong, Hendrickson's had a fantastic year for them. Didn't he have like 14 sacks or something? 13 sacks? Yeah. I mean, they're running the ball well against him here. A little bit of a weird concept by the Bengals defensively on this. I'm not sure what's going on. There's a lot of. Usually they're extremely coordinated. I have had praise. I think. Yes, Joshua, I understand what you're saying. Yep. I've had a lot of praise for the Bengals this year, and in fact, with this new channel, I've already put out a couple of videos talking about their defense. But things aren't well coordinated here defensively, if you ask me. You got motion coming across, so you've got this safety flying up. So they've got some. That's cool. That's cool. They're bringing this guy, I think, because they understand. If you got hard motion coming at this walk back tight end, this Y, that maybe you've got, split zone. It could be split zone. Maybe, I don't know, but I just don't know why he was doing that on that read by that tackle. There's nothing there. Well, let's do it from the end zone angle. If we get a good view, let's see. Oh yeah, we got a great view. There's nothing here. To me, he jumps Hendrickson. It doesn't look like a definitive pass set to me. Not at all. That's a run block. If it is a pass pro, he's jumping him. You know what I mean? So I don't see any kind of kick. He's not kicking back at all. I mean, I don't see anything that Hendrickson's reading there and reacting to that tells him, to get upfield because it's a pass play. I mean, that's just, to me, that's poor awareness. But anyway, I like this part. Okay, you want to bring the safety to force the back to cut it back. Cool. Well, then these guys got to stay in place. These backers shouldn't be Shouldn't be sliding. That's one thing that I said that they do all year. They do all year on motion. They slide an inside backer. Look, there's an inside backer who's moving out with the guy in motion and create. I mean, basically, I've always said this to people, and maybe it doesn't apply in the NFL, but you know, if you were to rank the athletes that are on the field right this second, on the screen, 31, the running back for the Chiefs, where do you rank him as far as athletes? He's got to be higher than these two, right? He's a better athlete than them. He's faster. He's got better agility. Clearly has better ball skills because he's a running back. They're an inside linebacker. I always felt like these two guys, the inside backers, have to work in tandem. They have to fit things. They have to fit things together to help each other out because athletically they're not as athletic as the running back who's getting the football. So I never liked these guys running out on motion. But again, the Bengals don't want to. They don't want to on motion. Roll one safety down. And actually they do here. They roll one safety through. They blitz him, and then this guy rolls back. Even there, Hendrickson kind of gets knocked off balance. I think he's a really good player. I think he's been a big asset for their defense. Just the last 2 weeks, I feel like, and again, I think he was hurt like week 15, 16, 17. I agree, Josh. It's a base block. I agree. He just doesn't seem to have played as well against the run as what I thought my brain remembered. But I don't have any data indicating how effective he actually is against the run. Just noticed that, there's nothing else to watch, right? There's no Ravens games to watch. I did watch some college stuff, obviously. He got punched and just knocked off. Nice job by the inside backer here. I don't know if that's Wilson or 51. 51 is pretty good player, if you ask me. I don't even know his name. I'll try to look at the jersey. Bailey? I think there was a game when Wilson was hurt against the Ravens and Bailey played, right? Yes, Allen, agreed. The 51's the guy that fit that run play well earlier on. Look at this one. So there's some things coverage-wise that I think the Chiefs are clearly going to have figured out because this guy goes through and no inside backers moving. You know what I mean? So they're hard on whatever this coverage call is, which I think is probably just quarters. They're hard-coded to be planted in here. You know what I mean? Nobody's moving here. So this should tell Mahomes some things. And we all know that's why the Chiefs use so much motion. Anyway, Bailey, Bailey. Thought that's what it said. Nice job filling here by him. I call this F counter. I don't know what background you guys have, but a lot of people call this guy the F, or I call him the Y, actually. But I call this play F counter. Where you're getting the pull and then you're getting the wrap. Iron Addict, what's up, man? Pratt was out. Okay, it was Pratt that was out. Pratt's a good player too, man. Thank you for joining, Iron Addict. Appreciate it, man. Trying to rebuild this thing. Clearly, I went too hard on a college all-22 film. That's a great fill. Great fill. I've talked. You guys know if you've been on the channel enough that I've appreciated what they do defensively. And look, that dude DJ Reader the last 2 weeks, he has played his butt off. Against Tennessee, he was, whew, he looked like a prime Brandon Williams, man. He was awesome. We build it as we fly. Okay, gotcha, man. Appreciate that. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Interesting blitz by the Bengals. Haven't seen them do that a ton. I think they're gonna stunt this guy back in and then loop the inside backer around. Yes, he was. Overnight, first of all, appreciate you joining and commenting. I don't recognize your name, to be honest with you. My apologies. I don't recognize your name from previous streams on my other channel, but appreciate you joining and commenting. Thank you. That would be interesting, Josh. To me, it seems like, I mean, just watching that Tennessee game, DJ Reader looked like the best interior run player they had, but I know, is it Ogunjobi? Ogunjobi? Is that how you say it? Pretty good player. That is insane. Just left him loose. So much attention, so much gravity for Kelsey. I mean, yeah, Joshua, that could be interesting. That could be interesting. Are they, how are they going to attack? I mean, I don't think they're going to come out in 21 personnel and run the ball. I think they're going to do it out of 11. I think that's where they're going to try to operate. And we all know the Chiefs are 11 personnel team. Maybe I got my players mixed up there saying Ogunjobi. I don't know. My bad. Yeah. He's a good player, man. BJ Hill's pretty good too, man. Their personnel is very well put together defensively. Good coverage, across here. Physical. They're doing the same thing with Kelsey backside. I agree, Joshua. Doing the same thing with Kelsey backside. Look at that. They got him bracketed. I really think highly of whoever's coordinating this defense and how the players are executing it. And this goes back to something Ed Reed said. I mean, it seemed to me one of the things he was discussing was preparedness of the players. And overnight. Because I was going to say, because I thought he had played most of the year. I thought I had seen him on film. It seemed to me Ed Reed was discussing preparedness of the players. I mean, film study is your responsibility. The coaches should not have to take time to get your ass in there to watch film. In the NFL, I mean, it's on all their tablets or Surface, whatever. Surface Pro, I guess that's what they are. That should be your responsibility. I mean, you should be watching more film than the coaches as a player, for real. Because the coaches can coach for decades, right? Players can only play for 4, 6, 8 years. You got to maximize every little piece. You gotta maximize every little piece. Like, does one guy have his hand down in a certain way on pass plays versus a run play? Lou Anamer, man, I'm not even gonna try to say the name. Somebody had typed that to me before, and he's done a great job. I know they have. I don't even know. Let me rephrase that. I don't even know what their stats are defensively, where they rank, and all those other, those advanced metric stats I pay zero attention to. I just know that what I see on film is good. I agree, Iron Addict. Yep. This one was on Tyrann Mathieu, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to rant for a moment. I really like Tyrann Mathieu. I think he's a super smart guy. I think he's a great player. I have seen some bad body language by him when other people make mistakes on this defense this year. And it wasn't just one or two guys. It was multiple guys that make mistakes, and he's got some bad body language. And then here he is giving up a touchdown. No, I mean, that's a tough-ass cover. That's a tough-ass cover. He's lined up over here inside the hash, and this ball is caught over here by the B. So it's a tough-ass cover. It's a zone. But these guys look like they're playing, man. Right here. He definitely is. These guys are sitting just helping out on inside leverage. If you do get an in-breaking route, but the way we would read it is if 3 comes here, he's you. So, man, I really like overnight, just from what I have seen, which is, I'm going to be honest with you, is the 3 possessions from this second half is what I watched generally. And I thought Flowers did a nice job, especially, I'm going to show you this one play. I'm sorry if this is hard on you guys' eyes, me rewinding it like that. It might be this play here. Okay, it might be this play here overnight. right here. And I don't think Flowers starts for them when they have everybody healthy, does he? I mean, he's doing a nice job competing with the guy. Clearly Kelsey can catch that ball and will catch that ball most of the time. But he's hand fighting with him. Offensive guys are going to say, oh, that's a hold. It should be called. I agree it was, Allen. I agree. I thought Flowers did a nice job. Here he is again on the next play. They're going to chip. They're going to chip and help him out. But then that helps him understand, okay, I get an outside. They're forcing an outside release. They're forcing an outside release. This guy's inside leverage, just slightly pushing Kelsey out. So they're forcing an outside release. That allows 33 to take leverage on a certain side. It seems like he's done a nice job to me. I thought he played well against the Ravens. You can correct me if I'm wrong, overnight. I thought I saw Flowers on the field against the Ravens the game in Baltimore. It seemed like he was on the field a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean 40, 50 snaps. Seemed like he played a lot of the game. I might be a little off there with the numbers. I feel like just from what I'm watching, he did a nice job on Kelsey. Is he going to be able to, quote, shut Kelsey down? I mean, no. Kelsey's too damn good. So anyway, I believe that one put the Bengals in the lead there. 31-28 after they've been down 28-14. So I think this is the 11-play drive by the Chiefs, and I'm almost done. I got a bunch of Ravens film fired up too. I know people would probably rather watch that. I get it. I'm interested to see how much motion the Chiefs use because they use so much all the time. And I think they've got to figure out. I think the key is when if they motion a guy across, is an inside linebacker stepping out? Because if so, that's quarters. That's what I think. That's quarters. That means they don't want to roll a corner and a safety, and they want to leave this backside safety where he is for whatever reason. And I like, what they're doing right now. I know that Kelsey's not motioning across, but I like when you have Tyreek Hill here and you motion away from him. Because now the team has to declare, what are you going to do? What are you going to do with the safety to that side? Is that safety going to roll and clear out this whole half of the damn field for Tyreek Hill? No, that's not what's going to happen. I think you might see a lot of motion originating from the side where Tyreek Hill lines up. Hopefully I said that in a way that makes sense and I don't sound like a dumbass trying to make that point. But I think that motion to Tyreek Hill is not as powerful as motion going away from him because he has such gravity that they've got to, they've got to hold the safety backside there. I feel like Hendrickson does a nice job in these situations most of the time. This is that old school 50 technique, 50 being a 5-2 defense. Of course, there's no difference between a 5-2 and a 3-4 in a lot of ways. But the old school guy is going to call it a 50. Joshua said, could also be cover 3 if the linebacker motions out. Yeah, it could be. Generally, I feel like when he motions out, the depth of these guys, to me, on this play here, this player is a little bit closer aligned. Typically, the corner's depth for the Bengals is in this range here. This is more accurate from what I think I remember for those guys. This play, of course, doesn't show motion going all the way through, but yeah, I know what you're saying, Joshua. The future of football in the AFC is exciting. Yeah, I agree. Definitely. There's a lot of guys. I saw some tweet. I'm not a real big fan of Twitter. I'm on there, and I've enjoyed it because there's been some people that I've met and interacted with on there. It's been really cool. I haven't had a chance to do, I guess they call it a space yet with some people have invited me, and I would like to do one with people. It'll be fun because I've always said I'd rather interact verbally with people than just text. Josh, I feel like this represents a little bit more of and some people got offended when I said it. I said soft coverage. I didn't mean soft like like a punk. I meant soft, like off coverages, so maybe that's a better word. I feel like this represents the depth at which I'm saying these guys play and how they get off. Not that this thing is just available all the time. That this route isn't available all the time because the Bengals will switch up coverages on you too, and that DB there is able to recover. I think is that a woozy 2022? Yes, exactly. If you make it to the division round in the AFC, yep. It's kind of crazy to me. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong. Certain quarterbacks get hate way faster than others. Like if Lamar Jackson played in the division round like Ryan Tannehill did last week, it would be ridiculous. And Ryan Tannehill got a lot of hate too. He's one of them. He gets the hate. I'm just gonna say it. If Joe Burrow or Josh Allen, and Josh Allen, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Josh Allen had a terrible rookie season, right? Terrible rookie season, but he was like 22. Shouldn't be surprising, Lamar's literally I think he just turned 25. So some of the things that go on in terms of evaluating these guys, I kind of trip off of them. People are inconsistent. Agreed, Bradley. Totally agreed. I think this guy, first of all, I think this guy's a spectacular. I am a huge fan of all these guys in the Bengals secondary, especially 21 and 24. Awuzie and Bates are good. They get they get a lot of respect, as rightfully so, and they should. But 21 and 24, man, those guys are good football players. Allen, man, you get it. Absolutely agree. It just makes sense, right? You're talking about a 25-year-old guy. Bradley, first of all, thank you for commenting. I think I recognize your name from other streams on my previous channel. Thank you for joining this one. Kind of threw me for a loop for a couple hours. Alan will tell you. Alan's in my Discord for Patreon, and he'll tell you. Kind of threw me for a loop. I don't want to say down, but I was a little like surprised. I was like, shit, my channel is going to be deleted. I'm a criminal. I did something wrong. But anyway, I recognize your name from my other channel, so appreciate you joining this one. That split zone concept again, which is just a great concept, because it's, first of all, you got the double team on the backside guy. Really, it's just a combo block. This guy's comboing up here, and the tackle's going to stay on him. My mouse speed is ridiculous, so my drawing's not accurate. I love split zone because you get that double team if there is a backside three, or this case it's a one. It's a three. Yeah, he is a one. He shifted over. Yeah, man, no worries. I'm not pressed about it. I mean, we'll just rebuild this one and hopefully make everything cleaner and nicer. I love the live streams. My PC crashed on my last live stream like a month ago, and then my PC was really really struggling along multiple levels. So luckily, a family member was able to give me a PC that was somewhat gently used and really nice, and so I'm streaming on that one. It's wonderful. Yeah, Cincy either isn't reacting to him or the inside linebacker's running out and they're losing. Now, this guy's being more patient. This is the second one I've seen. But, Alan, I agree with you. This is the second one I've seen where 51 is moving, but he's not running out of there. He's not, you know what I mean? He's not flying out of there. But he's not really able to fit the run unless it's this gap here. See if he does. Nope. Tyreek Hill probably holds a little bit. Well, he does get involved in the play, but it looks like it's a 7-yard gain anyway, right? So we're talking about this guy here. Kind of hedges outside. Look at the DBs. This is one thing I said about Cincinnati when the Ravens played them. And not to bring up the Lamar issue and continuously, but I said it after the Cincinnati game, and a lot of you guys did too in the streams. In the stream that week, we didn't throw the ball short enough against Cincinnati's soft coverages, and I think there were some Bengals fans or maybe just, I don't know who they were fans of. They came out and said, like, "Hey, what are you doing calling our defense soft?" It's like, you misunderstood. They're a really good damn defense. You know, they're not soft. I meant soft as in off coverage. Overnight, okay, got you. Nightmares of Lamar playing Madden. Yeah, got you. Yeah, that was crazy. But you guys' defense is so different this year. First of all, I think you got better talent this year, but I think it's way better coached. And you can tell me if I'm wrong, if there's been a lot of coaching changes on the defensive side, or just a few, or maybe just the DC. But they are really better coached, if you ask me. They're going to have an answer for this split zone concept, because clearly Kansas City ran the hell out of it the first time, right? A toss, yeah, got you, Allen. Like a just hand it off, or that quick little toss that's really a pass play, right, to the guy in motion. Yeah, that'd be cool. See what Cincinnati does with it. Yeah, that was a great pass. Yeah, Josh, I mean that is something I've thought about too. I've looked at it like, man, what do you do? You know what I mean? What do you do? Now the Bengals call sticks on a fourth down, on third down. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I think or is it Orlovsky? Yeah, here it is. So great question, Josh. Yeah. I mean, they go sticks here. I believe this is 3rd and 5. We'll let it run. Oh, my bad. Okay, it'll catch up. I mean, I think Joshua, let me answer it this way. I think it could depend on personnel. So, for example, if you have, really big, smart inside linebackers, and you got a Cam Chancellor type guy, then maybe you want to play cover 3 and knock the shit out of people, when they catch the ball, and make little ass receivers have to worry about contact. Of course, we know the NFL is trying to protect receivers just like they're trying to protect quarterbacks, or maybe not as much, but that's where they're headed. So maybe it depends on personnel. Would be a question. To Allen's point, like he just said, maybe you don't have a Trey Hendrickson up here. So you got to rely on some of this shit. I mean, it is conceptually, like, I get it, man. I get it. Yep, I agree with that too, Joshua. I think that's there. I mean, the way that Miami did this. Hold on a second, Alan. We're gonna. Alan is a moderator now. You can dump people as you wish, Alan. The way that Miami did it, which I explained multiple times, hopefully you guys understood what I was saying, and about these interior rushers. Some of these interior rushers for Miami, they were reading, and then they were backing out, and I hope you guys understood it. If you don't remember it, just let me know in the chat. I'll explain it for the 10th time. Miami was better with their sticks than other people. A, because they have really good cover people back there, don't get me wrong. And B, because they're taking away the slant. The slant by number 2 was not there because they're getting guys dropping out. So if you throw a quick slant to number 2, and there's a guy dropping out, then you have the opportunity for a pick here. I totally agree with you, Overnight. It was a great adjustment. I think it was Orlovsky or somebody talked about it, and I don't watch a lot of guys' breakdowns, but if I see something by Orlovsky on Twitter, I will watch it. He's always like pointing at the TV with his finger, so you can tell he's doing it, right after he saw it or right after the game, which is really cool of him, if you ask me. But I was laughing. But it was a good point by him. He was like, look, they waited until the right second to run this, and they put Mahomes and those guys on the defensive because, kind of to Josh's point, you think of Cooper Kupp. Think of Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp does this stuff where he comes in and then he shakes and either comes back out or he shakes and then goes in. Julian Edelman used to do that all the time. That stuff, that's out the window when you play sticks. just so you know, overnight, I'm going to refer to it as sticks coverage. That's what it's called. But other people call it zero blitz. They have their own names for it. They might be from a different system from me. But sticks means, the way it was explained to me when I was a young coach, this is the yard to gain for the first down. Then that's where your DBs are going to line up. And like Joshua said, they're going to try to react and play to everything in front of them. And I did a couple videos on my old channel about it. My old channel's still going to be up for like 3 days. If you want to check them out, I'll try to pop a link in the comment for this one. But I call it sticks. And other people call it zero blitz. They can call it zero blitz if they want. But cover zero isn't sticks. Cover zero is a different thing. You know what I mean? The Ravens play cover zero, and they might be pressed up in your face. And there's some advantages to that. But to Josh's point from a couple minutes ago, you keeping everything in front. Now this guy's playing man. This guy's just playing straight man. This guy's looking at the quarterback. He looks like, I don't know what he's looking at. It could be the man. You know what I mean? But true sticks, they looking at the quarterback. Good point, Alan. You remove it. You simplify what your defense has to worry about. Something to be said for that. The killer is, though, the killer for sticks is just go 3-by-1. Just go. I shouldn't say the killer, but that if you have a Tyreek Hill and you put him backside here, maybe that's too wide. You put him backside here and you put 1, 2, 3 receivers here. So you keep these 3 guys here, and you put Tyreek Hill one-on-one backside with this guy, then you got to stop going sticks. Because now you've got a guy who can do this, and then you just throw the fade up to him, or he can do anything because he's so damn fast. You can just throw the ball out there. So remember the Miami game, the Ravens finally put Bateman backside as the X, and he was eating them alive. And we got away from it down there near the end zone. So anyway, great question, Josh. First of all, again, as usual, but or great point, not a question. But that would be my reason to not do it. Is if somebody's got a great receiver, a great X, then I can go 3-by-1, and I feel like I can get you out of it. If you're not getting out of sticks, and I put my best receiver backside, and I've got a Randy Moss, or I've got a Calvin Johnson, or I've got a whoever, then you're SOL, unless you got a Revis or Champ Bailey or whoever. So anyway, I'm about done talking about Bengals Chiefs. Unless you guys want me to go over some other stuff, I do have I do have some of this shit. Holy moly. Like what? Overnight, you said you're a Bengals fan. How is it possible that people were complaining about drafting Jamar Chase? What was the... I mean, I know the offensive line concern, but if you looked at his film from 2019 at LSU, it's the same shit as this. You know what I mean? You saw the same stuff. So it's like, I mean, this is the NFL. Who does he remind you guys of? Let's do that. I have someone that I'm going to say. It's going to offend Ravens fans. But he reminds me of someone because of his speed and his power and strength. That's the thing that... The strength and the ability to make catches... Not this one. This one's wide open. But the ability to make catches with people on him. Mr. Jekyll, yeah, man, agreed. Yeah, look at this. I mean, this is. I know that we have a bad view. Steve Smith. Damn you, Bradley. You absolutely right, Steve Smith. That's who he reminds me of. Because like Jekyll said, he's good at every level of the field. You could throw a hitch to him, and he can get you that. You can throw a slant to him, and he can keep a guy leveraged up and catch it. You can throw a go route to him. You can throw a fade, even though he's not real big. He's right here. The screens, man. Did you see the 2 screens against the Chiefs? This one, and there was another one I did in another video. Look, he's it's like tackling a running back for these guys. I mean, generational is a badass word, but yeah, how the hell? And somebody on one of my videos had a comment that was kind of like, I agree with it, but I got to make a point about it. He said something like, God, I'm trying to remember the dude's name. Yeah, good point, Michael. Great point. He said something like, okay, so some of you guys aren't Ravens fans in here, and that's cool. And if I talk about the Ravens too much, then tell me. But the Ravens need offensive linemen. Like, they need offensive linemen. The offensive line was terrible this year. And someone said, Jamar Chase is the reason why the Ravens don't need an offensive line. You need skill players. There ain't too many of this guy. You know what I mean? There is not a Jamar Chase in every draft. Let's put it that way. So when you need an offensive lineman and there's a Jamar Chase available, you take Jamar Chase. But if there, you know what I mean? And so, I forget who the guy's name was, but he said something like, the Ravens don't need offensive linemen. They need to draft skill players. But every skill player ain't Jamar Chase. You know, every first receiver drafted isn't Jamar Chase either. Yeah, Jekyll, I mean, hey, you won't get much argument from me, if any. Yes. You know the thing that's going to be interesting tomorrow, though, is what are they going to do here? Like, what are the Chiefs going to do? Because they just hung this dude out to dry, and he wasn't the only one. 35, 20. I can't remember the other guy's number. I saw Garden Chase that game. I mean, they all got burnt. I don't know who it was. Said Jamar Chase has 5 sons, and he put a picture of the Chiefs DBs up underneath of him. I don't remember who it was. So good play there, but they can't do that. You can't. I don't think you can do that against this dude. Name the corners in the league that you'd be okay doing that, putting them in that situation. I don't know who they are. I agree, Joshua. Feels like that. I agree, Alan. Both of y'all. I agree. I watched. I don't watch a ton of other people's breakdowns. Not that I think I'm better than them. I just don't have time. But I do watch Brett Coleman's stuff when I can, and he was right. He said, "Look," he said, "the scheme the Bengals run isn't anything special. It's just called, let me find the matchup and go to the matchup." And one thing, and he covered this exact play, so an aspect of this I am kind of going off of what he talked about. So I want to be forthright about that. But I have talked about this multiple times. Yeah, Justin Jefferson, good point, CJ. I have talked about this multiple times. When you go trips, this is not a bunch necessarily, but when you go trips and you put the back away from the trips, you put the defense in conflict. To me, this is what I taught. We play simplistically. We played 4 over 3, and then backside we played 3 over 2. But you can't always do that. You can't always do that. One thing the Patriots used to do. I don't like the math on bringing 5 against this Bengals team. I don't. If you want to bring 4, cool. But one thing that the Patriots used to do and other 3-4 teams was, if you're going to bring this back out, we're not going to let him cross our face. That's a 5-2 out D-end rule, or a 3-4, a structured, disciplined 3-4 rule is don't let him cross your face. So if you start there, if this guy outside releases, I'm not going to let him cross my face. Then now you can leave the safety back to help. I think that's what the Chiefs got to do. They can't play this coverage backside. Yep. If they leave him one-on-one, they will lose. I agree. Absolutely. they can't play this coverage. And Brett Coleman did talk about this. But I actually talked about this play in Week 17. They brought the safety for the running back. And then this linebacker is the backside inside linebacker. When I say backside, I mean here's the trips. If this is not what you guys would like me to talk about, I can move on. You know what I mean? I can move on. But to me, what we would say is we would if you got to, we faced them. I mean, not too many. We faced 3 Division I receivers in the years I coached high school, and one year we had a dude, and we said to him on Monday, we said, hey, he's your guy, and we're gonna live with it because they had a Division I running back too. So we said, hey, we gotta stop the run, and we said this is you, and you know what, if he beats you, we're still gonna roll with you on the next play. So my point is but you only do that if you have a guy there too. And to me, it's a total mismatch with him one-on-one against any of these DBs. I think they have to have some kind of rules in where if the back releases outside, the OLB goes with him, and then they can play 2 on this guy. You're going to lose a guy in the pass rush, but I don't know. Pressure doesn't seem to bother this dude. He got sacked 9 times in the last game. He still threw for 360. Overnight said, I'm a Bengals fan, so I'm here for this. Keep going. Okay. Michael, well, share my stuff with people that are Bengals stuff. If you got Bengals social media people, man, share it, because I lost about 7,000 subscribers moving to a new channel, so I need some help. I agree, Joshua. I've done that before too. I mean, that's why he's an X. No, you're good, Luis. I appreciate it, man. It took me about 2 hours. You can ask Alan, who's in here. I was not down, but I was pissed for a little bit. But anyway, that Chase is a true X. He's a true X, and hey, in my opinion, he's not in the same class in terms of his impact this year. Rashad Bateman is a true X. He's a guy that you can put backside, and you can put people in conflict in the same way because, and in some ways, this is going to sound crazy. I don't know how to say this. This is a generational or unbelievable talent, clearly, no doubt. In some ways, that can actually make things simpler for your defense if you recognize how good he is. Because then you just say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and double this guy, or at least leave a second guy backside, and now I'm going to minimize his impact. But when you have a guy who's maybe slightly lesser talented, and the defense looks at him and says, well, we're going to go ahead and play him man-to-man, well, now you can eat their asses up because they're being hard-headed. In my opinion, like I think it was Joshua or maybe it was Allen, the Chiefs didn't recognize how talented he was. Clearly they didn't. Look at the coverage they're playing against this running back backside. Look at what they're playing on the backside. To me, this is not specific enough for the threat that the Bengals are, which is prestigious, if I said that word correctly. If you guys were watching my channel in the preseason at all, I previewed this Bengals offense, and I said that I thought they'd be a top 5 talented offense in the league. I said that. You can't do this. Look how ignorant this is. We're walking up and blitzing, and now we're one-on-one. I think this is a 3rd down. Let me catch up with the chat. First of all, appreciate you guys having interaction here. CJ 150 with Chase guarantees someone got disrespected on a catch or two. You're right about that. Alan, yeah, I like that suggestion too. Bluff man-to-man and then roll with safety. Tempt Burrow with a coverage, yeah. Yeah, because he looks like Brett Coleman said. If you don't watch his stuff, you should be. I mean, he's spectacular, dude. I think it's his full-time job at this point, which is got to be a blessing for him. It's got to be fun, man. I wish I could just watch football film and that'd be my only job. But you got to watch his stuff if you're not. Exceptional. Joshua Richter said, if Tyler Boyd beats me, so be it. Yeah, good point. Hassani, what's up, man? How you doing? Dejected as hell with football since Lamar went down, but if you could find that film and see what Cleveland did to Jamar to shut him down, that would be great, Coach. I might be able to pull that up. I do have it I'm going to be honest with you, I have recorded so much NFL film in the last month just to have. I don't have it loaded up here, to be honest with you, though. I'll show you this one catch that I thought was, and now this one might have graphics in it that this is prior to the Ravens game against the Bengals in Week 7 at home, and I think it's a third down, and you're gonna get this shit. I mean, I mean, you can say like I'm gonna disrupt him. Copyright audio and video. Oh, are you serious? Wow. All right, I had to drop that video out. It says we've detected copyright audio and video in your stream. Are you serious? Oh, wow. Maybe somebody had done an all 22 for the NFL already from that angle. That's all I need. It's for my new channel to get a copyright hit on the first live stream I do. We've detected copyright audio and video in your stream. Your stream may be temporarily blocked. All right, that's a notification. I'm going to cross out the notification and see if it comes back. You know, it must have been this, whoops. It must have been the one that I was going to show. Must have been this one, where I was going to show the Green Bay play. Well, anyway, I expect the Chiefs to go spread, to be honest with you. 11 personnel pretty much the whole game. And I think this guy has been an asset. McKinnon. Is it McKinnon? I don't know, Ramal. I was trying to show that play of Chase against Green Bay, and all of a sudden the YouTube streaming website told me we've detected copyright audio and video in your stream. It may be temporarily blocked. So it scared me. Anyway, this guy's pretty talented. Is McKinnon? I'm not sure how to say his name, to be honest with you, but they have gone, in my opinion, what I thought I saw against the Bills is like pure, absolute spread with a bunch of little guys. And not that the personnel is necessarily different, but they looked more complete spread to me. And they're an 11 personnel team anyway with Kelsey. Last 5 minutes, they were unbelievable. It seems like to me later in the game they get better on offense. Well, they scored 42 the last 2 weeks. No, Ramal, I did not. I need to though. I guess I don't know how YouTube on a live stream would detect whether or not I'm using that or not, but I'm going to try it. I'm trying to find this touchdown to Tyreek Hill. Looks like he's off the field right here. Bills are playing cover 2 to this. Played cover 2 to this a couple times. Because one time the number 3 receiver runs a vertical, and this backer runs with him while the safeties are split. The Bills' safeties were scared to death. Did you guys feel that way? Watching this, like I'm gonna rewind and then just look at the depth of the safeties. I'm not saying that the safeties should be at 10 yards. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. They got a lot of great talent, and they got a great scheme and great coaches. But I felt like I saw the safeties just scared to death of everything. And so like there was a lot of times I felt like the Chiefs could have gotten a little bit more underneath stuff. I mean, first of all, overnight, like this is let me cover it this way. I feel like these safeties are deep as hell and getting deeper, you know. Yes, they did. Look at these guys. I mean, at the snap. Now, granted, it's late in the game here, so But I don't believe this is the. You're good, Dawson. You're good. Thank you for joining up, man. I appreciate you joining the channel. This is not the final 13 seconds or whatever. So we're still in a normal situation, if you ask me. This is 13 yards for this safety and 15 for this one. Wow. Well, yeah, I'm not even. Yes, Bradley, I agree with you, but I'm not even commenting on that. I'm just merely. I'm talking about a normal gameplay situation. Look how deep they are now. I think the safety drops down here. He does. I think this one. I think this one drops down, and this guy drops back. So maybe he drops middle of the field, but there's definitely. Okay, so that's slightly different. That's clearly man. You know, man, and this guy's just dropping to help out with the low hole. Doing a pretty good job, I think. Nice job by the Bills, obviously, there, right? Just being disruptive a little bit, sticking two guys pretty good. One thing that the Bills did a lot, I thought that these two interior tackles, and this guy was standing up a little bit late in the game. I don't know why or have any observation about it, but I thought these two guys were like spying a lot while these two guys got upfield. I guess they're just trying to keep Mahomes in the pocket. Maybe it was just a late in the game situation. Maybe it wasn't all game long. I'm sure they did different things. They're not going to do the same thing all game, obviously. They're going to have different calls in. Maybe they got tired. I think the Bengals have a better pass rusher off of this edge than the Bills do. Hendrickson's a better pass rusher by far, if you ask me, than this guy over here. And I think that, you know, Hubbard and the other guys do well here. Interior detail. I don't know. The Bills' defense, I thought, was inconsistent this year. If they were rated number 1 overall, then I guess they were rated number 1 overall. I did not think they were that consistent this year. They certainly put on a hell of a show last year against the Ravens in the playoffs. Thought they played an amazing game. Again, the depth on the snap. 5, 10, 15. You're talking about 17 and 18 yards deep. Cover 2 man. And he's gone. What down and distance is that? Second? Second and 10. I guess they're trying not to give up a big play, right? And they end up doing it. Might shoot with the 2 deep approach that you lose a key pursuit player. Yeah, true. Tyrod, what's up, man? Yeah, the Bills just don't seem to match up well with them. I would agree with that. Tyrod, thank you for joining the stream, man. Appreciate it. I'm going to try to do this more often now that I've got a good PC set up. I don't know what the hell you do with this guy. I feel like the Bengals coverages are more multiple. And the Bengals, they play a soft quarters type coverage too. Same thing. Copyright audio and video in your stream. Your stream may be temporarily blocked. What is that? Is that like... Are you guys getting the stream still or no? Like maybe it's because I'm using film that someone just did a film study breakdown on. Wow. Well, let's try it. Fuck it. Let's look at that end of regulation one. Mahomes broke contain too many times. Yeah, I agree. Maybe I gotta look at another service or something. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I did something wrong for months and karma's catching up with me. I've never had that. I've never had that notification on a live stream that you're using Maybe, you know what? Maybe I had it once or twice. I've heard Orlando Brown has trouble with speed rushers. Is that true? I think he has had that issue before, yeah. Look, it does it again. That's the third time. I don't know why they're doing that. So I mean, clearly they're in a soft coverage. This is a great concept though, because you're basically shielding, with two guys, even though they're running, even though it's a pass play, you're basically running a screen that doesn't originate behind the line of scrimmage. It originates here. Wonderful. Yeah, I'm not sure why. I've never had that happen. There it is again. It must be these plays. It must be that like somebody like Baldy or something did a breakdown, because Baldy's like officially NFL, certified or whatever. Yeah, now it's gone. It's weird. Number one solely on stats. Got you. Understood, Hassani. Oh, you got Alan. You guys saw the notification too that said it was using copyright material. Wow. Overnight. Going back to that, what you said. I mean, I Orlando Brown definitely has had trouble with that at times. Is it a consistent thing? I don't know. I mean, look, some of those offensive linemen, maybe they have a horrible game against a speed rusher one week, and maybe they're fucking hurt, and nobody says anything. So I think it's hard to say that that's a constant problem for him, but I think that it can be an issue for Orlando Brown. He's in a run first offense for a couple years with the Ravens, and then going to Kansas City, I don't think was a great fit. Although I do know that he played better later in the year for them, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong there. I feel bad for overnight if I'm going to just switch off from Bengals film, but I keep getting copyright stuff overnight. Like I can't keep showing film. I don't. Oh, you could still see the stream. Copy that. Thank you, Alan. Yeah, like I tried to show this one, and it said copyright stuff, and then showing this one, I got a couple. Thank you, Alan. Yeah, that's what I figured. So I was gonna do some commentary on the Lamar Jackson rumors, but you guys have definitely been wanting to, or you guys have been talking about you guys have been talking about the AFC Championship game preview so much that I feel bad if I just abruptly transition, because I haven't said much, and I haven't, there's not much for me to say. I don't, my opinion doesn't mean anything. It is interesting to me that there's the rumor. Correct me, you guys tell me what your perspective is. Ravens front office has been quite quiet. Of course, the playoffs are still going on. But they're in a weird spot. There's people that are making coaching changes. There's franchises that are making coaching changes, and then there's franchises that are in the playoffs, and then you have the in-between teams. And the Ravens aren't usually that in-between team. The Ravens are usually in the playoffs. So they're never in this influx stage like this, where you don't make the playoffs and you have some stability in your coaching staff, with apparently the offensive staff saying. Agreed, Bradley. And that's my perspective too. But having said that, Bradley, I think and I'm going to give a general theory that I have. I think he got so much better doing this stuff right here, and the scheme was so much better, probably because of Keith Williams and God, I forget his last name now. He was a quarterback for Tennessee in college. I'll remember his name in a minute, unless one of you guys types it. He got so much better at this that I think eventually teams decided, we're just going to bring heat and bring pressure and not let them do this, because he's shown the ability to be much more effective, and they have better routes. T. Martin, Jesus Christ, how to forget that? I think that was the reason why teams went to that. That was the reason why teams went to that, because we had proven that things were better from a pass design concept. Like all that stuff about people like, oh, these guys are two guys are running routes right next to each other. I mean, maybe 20% of the pictures I've seen of that make sense, but 80% of the time that's bullshit. You got guys sometimes running mesh routes right next to each other. Of course, they're going in opposite directions. Sometimes when people do a flood concept, people are running near each other. Sometimes when people do slant wheel, your guys are near each other. So, true, good point, Tyrod. Good point. I think there's some impatient people who want announcements to be made about the offensive coordinator, and those things aren't being done, or maybe won't be done. And then they make an inference that wherever rumors originate from, look, disinformation, usually there's feelers put out there, right? It's just like with our government. I hate politics, first of all. Whether it's Republican, Democrat, I fucking hate politics. But whoever it is, if they're going to do something stupid, there's usually a feeler put out. You know what I mean? 2 weeks before, or a month before, or 2 months before. There's usually a feeler put out there. Like, hey, let's put some information out here and see how people react to it. So, yeah, is it possible this could be the same thing? Yeah. It could be, let's put a feeler out there and see the reaction to it. Well, come on, the Ravens, if this is true, the Ravens franchise and people know what the reaction is going to be to it. It's going to be revolt, people leaving being a Ravens fan, if you ask me. Overnight, yes. I called for it after the Bengals game. Yes. Yep. Jared, I can be either way about that. And here's why. The pass concepts were far better designed this year. People who say that the pass concepts were shit designed this year don't know what they're talking about. They're not remembering that in the first 8 games of the season, we were averaging 28 points a game. They're not remembering that when we had time to throw the football, and look, one of the things that happened this year was we had guys running routes and actually reading things. So like, I'm with you, Hassani. I understand what you're saying there. Absolutely. Yep. I'm not necessarily saying people should be fired, but I'm getting there in terms of my anger towards Harbaugh. My buddy Josh Hoffman has said some things before that make a lot of sense. He has said, why is there criticism of Wink Martindale and Greg Roman that doesn't extend all the way to Harbaugh? And I would agree with Josh on that. I would agree with him. However, I would also say that it should not only extend vertically up, it should extend vertically down. If you think that, and I don't mean you, Hassani, necessarily, but people, if you want Greg Roman fired, then you want his entire offensive staff fired. You have to be consistent. Because you can't, neither can I can't. None of us can differentiate who has done what on the offensive staff, except for the pass concepts. There was a clear improvement in the pass concepts this season compared to last year. And there was 2 hires, Keith Williams and T. Martin, and both of those guys were new to the staff. To me, it makes sense to assume that Keith Williams and T. Martin had the impact and had the input into those changes being made. So I will say that. Let me digress for 1 second. Look, think about this. In this situation, I believe this is a 3rd down. I could be wrong. The Broncos are bringing heat, and they're bringing heat because they want to attack Lamar Jackson. They're bringing heat because they don't want Lamar to be able to move and make a play. So they're bringing, when teams were blitzing us, they're not blitzing us because our quarterback is dumb and can't make decisions. That's not why they're blitzing us. They're blitzing us because he's so athletic that they can't play. Okay, they can't play zone. because we figured out how to attack the zones. We've got choice routes built in. We've got guys reading. Is the middle of the field closed? Okay, the middle of the field is closed. Let me check up here. Oh, the middle of the field is open. I'm going to go ahead and vertically release. We had made improvements with the pass game clearly because of those new hires. Having said that, we had zero answers for this, what was called zero blitz stuff. I call it sticks. Now, this isn't sticks here, but this is a heavy pressure scheme. We had zero answers for it. None. That is the offensive staff's fault. All of them. Greg Roman, T. Martin, Keith Williams, and Harbaugh. That's all of them. If people are doing this shit in multiple weeks, which in some cases they were, you have to have an answer for it. It was second down there. I thought it was third. Sorry. Bradley, you're absolutely right. Roman is a lot stubborn. Is very stubborn. He's an option guy, but Wink Martindale was more stubborn. I kind of skipped a couple of comments. Antonio, the Lamar trade rumors are lunacy. Yeah, I agree. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I've been a Ravens fan for a long time. If they were to trade Lamar Jackson, I'd roll out probably. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I would. Maybe I would. It would be difficult for me to stick around. Here's an example of everybody's blitzing and a 3-by-1 set. Okay, you can throw the slant to number 1 because the safety to the inside is further over. So he's further over this way. He can't react to the slant with the type of leverage to help him to impact the play. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I agree, Jekyll. Yep. I mean, this is the answer. Excuse me. This is one of the answers. Put a badass dude here backside and go at whoever is guarding him. Now there's also elements this way, okay? Sticks coverage is cover 0 from the standpoint of someone is guarding a player. So then what do? You get lined up quick. Now, I would agree with that, Antonio. I would agree with that. Yep, I would agree. You get lined up quick, though, and you get the right freaking guy over here with the right matchup. You know what I mean? You get the right guy over here, whoever that is. And in our team's case, I think it's Rashad Bateman. I do. I would agree with that, Alan. Just going back to something you said, scheme and some true tactical errors. Yeah, I would agree with that. My background as a coach is defense, and maybe that comes across in my videos. Maybe I don't know what the hell I'm talking about with offense. I don't know, but absolutely, Michael. Yeah. 3rd and long was coming eventually. Yep. What struck me and what caused me to have a break from trusting in Wink Martindale at all was how he left Chris Westry out to dry against the Bears. That could not. That I did not abide by that, and I'm an old man now. I'm 45, but I have become an advocate for players, and I felt for Chris Westry in that situation because I have seen people coach and blame players, and I'm talking about youth football, JV, varsity, college. And in the pros, you don't get coaches generally coming out and saying bad things about players. But I felt for Chris Westry in that situation. I don't know how Chris Westry and other DBs could have had faith in Wink Martindale after that 4th and 11 against Chicago. That is an unconscionable decision that doesn't give any reflection on, let me continue to treat this human being well and care for his development as a player for his benefit and my own. Very short-sighted, if you ask me. And what I mean by that is you're losing contact with a player when you hang him out to dry, but other players see it too. So to me, I think Wink Martindale was gone the moment he made that call against Chicago. And I think he was gone because the players didn't have any more trust in him, regardless of what they said publicly. Hassani, great point. Yeah, I mean Lamar had us at 8-3, number one in the AFC. Yep, totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. There is some Yep, absolutely, Jekyll. Totally agree. It was absolute horse shit. Yep, totally agree. This is another element that I think shows the impact that the other two coaches had on the offense. I do not remember what I call sudden change, and I got this saying from the best coach I ever was able to work with. I don't remember sudden change situations and the Ravens attacking in this way. I have a couple, not just this example. And if you watch my other channel, you know that I'm referring to things specifically. So, but I'm going to talk about this one. This is the first play of the fourth quarter. What have the Broncos been doing? Bringing heat. They've been bringing heat. And we were able to attack it by going backside in 3-by-1 formations. So, end of the third quarter comes. What do? We go 3-by-1, and we do this rollout pass play where Andrews runs up the field because the DBs are looking at the quarterback. The DBs are looking at the quarterback. They're looking at the quarterback. They're not looking at the receiver at all. They're thinking that because we're bringing pressure, we're going to get to him. So the rollout is an answer to that as long as you protect it well. And they do. They do a great job. They do a great job here. Great call. Andrew's wide open. You guys know that it got called back because of a hold on the backside. My point is, I did not see this out of Greg Roman offenses in 2019 and 2020. I did not see this concept, not this play, but I did not see the hey, sudden change. Here we go. It was actually after a stoppage. I think it was the first play of the fourth quarter. The other one I'm referring to, I think, was after injury, but maybe this one was after an injury. So, but in any case, Tyrod, I call it sudden change, meaning something changed. There was a turnover, or it's the first play of a quarter, or something like that. Yeah, it was a bad job by the left tackle. So, going back to what Jekyll said, and someone else co-signed it. The way that I feel about coaching, and I don't like the word feel because feelings are overrated, but the way that I feel and reflect and think about coaching, maybe think is a better word, is I'm there to protect my players, and if they know I'm going to protect them, then they're going to play for me. And if Chris Westry gives up a touchdown on a 4th and 11 where I gave him zero help at all against a former Olympic sprinter, and you guys correct me on any of those details that are wrong. If Chris Westry gives up the touchdown and I'm the defensive coordinator, the first thing I'm going to do if I'm the defensive coordinator is come out and say, I made a bad call, and I put Chris in a bad spot, and that's my fault. And I don't care if that, how that reflects with the media. I mean, I don't give I really don't. I don't care what other people think of me. I never have, and you don't know me in my personal life, but I just don't. But the one thing I do care about is the way that the players who play for me feel and think, because to me that's cumulative. That carries on to the next week. And conversely, when Wink Martindale and those other guys did not go out there and protect Chris Westry, that said to me that he's gone. He's gone. So that's where I am with Wink Martindale. Hey, I'm glad we had him. For however long we had him, but I thought that there was some things that he did not do well, and our players did not do well because he didn't focus on them. And I've talked about them before. Talk about them, in other videos maybe in the future. Jekyll, something that Jekyll said, actually his second comment about it was, crazy thing is that Harbaugh and some of the fans defended Wink after that. Absolutely. Look, yeah, exactly. And you know what, Jekyll, and some people were like, you want the quick death instead of the slow death. That was the stupidest shit I ever heard. Like stupidest shit I ever heard. And that, you know what? That's people who only pay attention to like analytics and stuff, and maybe never coached or never played. Yeah, I don't have a toast. First of all, thank you for joining the stream and commenting. I'm glad to be back. I don't know enough about McDonald necessarily to offer a great commentary on that hire. I said this earlier. Me personally, I like the guy from that spent a lot of time in Seattle. I think it's Richards or Ricards. I don't know how you pronounce his name. I thought he had a good reputation in the league, and I thought he would have been a good hire. Yeah, I agree, Jekyll. How about we just don't die at all? Like, there you go. How about we got one play to win the football game. How about we just make that play and win the game, and then we don't die at all? You know, it's just stupid. So, Toast, I don't know if that answers your questions. I mean, and look, and on the 4-3 versus 3-4 stuff, I'm going to be honest with you. I have a contrarian view on that anyway. The reality is, it doesn't matter. 4-3 and 3-4 doesn't matter, because when you see when you defensively, when you see 11 personnel, let me try to find a play. You're going to be in your nickel 4-2-5 anyway. It doesn't matter whether you're a 3-4 or a 4-3 team. When the other team is in 11 personnel, you're going to be in a 4-2-5 no matter what. So I'm going to use this as an example. The Ravens are in 11 personnel. We have one running back, and we have one tight end on the field. Regardless of whether the Raiders were a 4-3 or a 3-4 team, and they are a 4-3 team, you're going to have 4 down linemen, you know, and your edge rushers are either 4-3 DNs or 3-4 OLBs, whatever, and then 2 inside backers and 5 DBs. So when I say 5 DBs, I mean a corner, a safety. There's a strong safety, 24, who's a hell of a player, and here's a nickel. Regardless of whether you're a 4-3 or a 3-4 base team, you are going to be in a 4-2-5 against 11 personnel. Or you're going to be in a 5-1 with 5 DBs, so it doesn't matter. And the league and college football is going to more 11 personnel anyway, so, man, Tyrod, that is one of the best points right there. Weird thing is, Greg Roman got blamed for everything on the offensive side, but for some reason Wink was shielded from blame. Absolutely. Why couldn't you just stand there and say, and look, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, didn't the Bears get the ball back with like 20 seconds left? And we rushed like nobody on one play, or maybe we rushed one, Calais Campbell, right after Harbaugh talked. I thought it was a dick move by Wink Martindale. I thought he was reacting to Harbaugh talking to him on the sideline. The Bucs effed up playing cover 0 against the Rams. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that you're talking about Luis, you're talking about, let me find it. I got it right here. So, Luis, you're talking about this play right here. This is going to be Cooper Kupp. This sets up the game-winning field goal for them. And they're in man here on Kupp, and man, and the ball's already out because the safety vacates the middle of the field. This safety right here, 32, vacates. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know enough about Mike McDonald to offer any opinion that would give you guys any insight. I know that, you know, hey, I'm not a big fan of cover 0 in any situation. For real, I'm not. I'm just not. Unless it's, you know, unless there's a particular reason for it. I always prefer to have some kind of leverage help for a guy. But, you know, it's not the right situation. You can't leave guys out to dry. And I think players remember that. Actually, no, I don't think. I know players remember this. I I didn't know the impact at all that I had on players or kids, and then I happened to be around a corner. This is I don't know why this even popped in my head. We were lifting weights in the summer, and we had a couple of new kids transfer in, and I was around a corner, like I don't know, folding some jerseys, doing something, putting some laundry away or something. I wasn't the head coach. I was the defensive coordinator, and I heard I heard a kid from around the corner say, "Have you met Coach DC yet?" And my ear heard someone refer to me because that's what the kids call me, Coach DC, and my ear, just kind of peeked up. I was like, okay, I'm interested. And the kid said no, and he's like, well, you're like him. We win games because of him. And that gave me confidence because that told me that like the kids trusted me. And that, who cares what a 16-year-old kid says, really? But when a 16-year-old kid says to another 16-year-old kid, hey, we trust this guy, then you feel emboldened. And my point about telling you that story is not to talk myself up. My point is I compare that to how Wink Martindale and Harbaugh treated Chris Westry in that situation, and I think players know that. I think players recognize that. I think that pisses players off. Players want to make money. Chris Westry doesn't want his son 20 years from now to see that play on film. He doesn't. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they want their name to be associated with good play. They want their family, their friends, to not see stupid stuff said about them on Twitter. Coaches should be protective of their players, and coaches should, in my opinion, take the blame. I think it was Bear Bryant. I don't know if anybody wants to look it up. I think it was Bear Bryant that said, the way you win football games is when we win, you stand there and you say to your players, you guys did a great job. And when we lose, the first thing you stand there and you say is my fault. I messed this up. And then you tell them something you messed up. And you guys can look it up if you want. I think it was Bear Bryant, who, obviously he knew what the hell he was doing. Event Horizon, who were you talking about? He uses lots of 4- and 5-man rushes. Are you saying McDonald does, you mean? Because I know they played a lot of 3-4 at Michigan, from what I saw. I think I have 6, like I said earlier, I have 6 Michigan films from this year, and I'm looking forward to watching them. I haven't spent enough time to offer much comment on Mike McDonald's scheme versus Wink's scheme. Let me put it to you this way. I'm going to tell you what I think of Wink Martindale, and I'm not going to be disrespectful. I'm a math person. I'm a math person, so I got my pen out, so I'm drawing shit now. So we're going to do a number line just for a second. No, let me do it different. We'll do it this way. Daxton Hill, absolutely, man. You didn't watch my videos? You too late on that, Toast. They got banned. Let me use Toast. Let me use your So I'm going to digress for a moment. But Toast, let me use your question. Have I watched any Daxton Hill or Ojabo tape yet? Yes, I did videos. I did videos on them both. Those videos are what got my my previous channel deleted, or it'll be deleted on February 3rd. So I'm going to say this to you, though. I'm going to continue to do college all-22 breakdowns. I'm going to continue to, prior to the draft, I am going to continue to break down players. It's not going to be on my YouTube, though. People will have to subscribe to my Patreon to gain access to those. I have a couple of ways to share those, and I would love for people to be able to watch them on YouTube. I apparently cannot do that. Now, Ramal, who's been here, says that I can put a fair use notification on those videos, and that will enable me to use them. I would love to try that. I probably am going to read a little bit more up on that before I do so. Not that I don't believe him. I want to be sure. My wife, just so you know, my wife and I utilize this YouTube as an income stream for us every month. So, losing the channel did kind of, it did kind of hit us a little bit, but this one will be monetized soon, so I feel comfortable and confident. But anyway, that was my answer to your question, Toast, and also a little bit of a sales pitch. Obviously I would like people to join my Patreon. I've set up a Discord for Ravens fans where we communicate all day long. It's on my phone, and I am able to communicate with the people that join. And I'm also going to have a way to share college all-22 film with people, and I would love for people to ask me about that on Twitter or in the chat. So anyway, that was me using Toast's question to do a sales pitch for a minute. So I want to do you want to say something about Wink Martindale versus Mike McDonald? So I'm going to go 0 to 100, and I'm going to talk about defensive coordinators in the NFL. And I'm going to say that 50 is crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm going to say that most NFL defensive coordinators it's probably a bell curve. I think I'm drawing a bell curve here. Maybe that looks shitty. But most defensive coordinators are probably one standard deviation from the middle. So this would be the average defensive coordinator in terms of crazy, somewhere in this range. And you're going to have data. Most of your data is going to be here, and most of your data is going to be here. You're going to have a few crazy ones. You're going to have a few crazy ones. Me personally, I'd say Buddy Ryan would probably be somewhere around in here. Would be my guess, Buddy Ryan, like a 55 or a 60 on the crazy scale. Rex Ryan, maybe a little further this way. I think Wink Martindale's crazy ass is over here. I think Wink Martindale's the craziest defensive coordinator. He's the craziest defensive coordinator I think I've ever seen. I can't imagine playing 4th and 11, playing cover 0 on 4th and 11 when you're in the lead. I can't imagine. It just doesn't make any sense to me with my with what I think I know about football. And there's people that know way more than me, so maybe I don't know enough. But I think Wink Martindale's way over here. And hey, crazy's good sometimes. I don't know if you've ever dealt with crazy people. Crazy people can be real smart sometimes. I shouldn't say crazy. Wink Martindale is an outlier. He's way off the chart in terms of what he's willing to call versus other DCs. And he's had a great career, and I respect him and I like him. But I just don't like the coverages that he played with our backup DBs at all. Yep, a 90 by itself. That's hilarious, Tyrod. This is a cool concept, man. This was one of the better concepts that I like for the Ravens out of empty. Yeah, I like that aspect, Toast, yeah. People call me crazy too, Event Horizon. People call me crazy too. I get it. I mean, oh, well, Hassani, what do you mean? You mean, are you asking about Rex versus Buddy? Is that what you're asking about? You want me to compare Rex versus Buddy, Hassani? Can you just elaborate for me? Caleb, I mean, I can't say use that phrase, me personally. I'll be honest with you. Especially being as what they did in 2019 in terms of design. In my opinion, Caleb, and a lot of people did not like this. I thought the Ravens should have been running the ball more this year. I said that after Dobbins and Edwards got hurt. I thought that we should have been a run-heavy team with play action utilized. I thought we'd be more efficient offensively with our pass plays. But the Ravens went in another direction, and they threw the ball a lot in the first 8 weeks, and it was successful until it wasn't. That's true, Josh. Good point. That's true. Good point. He didn't lie. And there's something to be said about that mentality, obviously. Josh, there's obviously something to be said that's a positive about that mentality of attacking. I get it, but there has to be a time when we dial it back because it's the right thing to do, right? I think you'd probably agree. When your third or fourth DB is in there, that's probably that time. So, yeah, we're not gonna beat Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. We're not gonna beat those guys by bringing 5 and 6 every play. And it's not like we even got pressure off of it. See, to me, I think it's more nuanced than that. I think it's more nuanced than just how many we're blitzing. I think it's the coaching, the technical coaching on our edge players. And I think McDonald was an inside linebacker coach, I believe, when he was with the Ravens 2 years ago. That would be my one concern, and I'll go ahead and say it, is that he only spent 1 year as a DC. Yeah, I mean, okay, Hassani, I figured that's what your question was. And me personally, I mean, it's got to be Buddy. Buddy Ryan, I don't know if a lot of people know this. Buddy Ryan coached with the Jets when they beat the Colts in the Super Bowl. Think about that. Buddy Ryan was coaching in the early 90s. Still has an impact on the game today, obviously. I'm a huge Buddy Ryan fanboy, so I'm just gonna say that for real. The defense he created changed football. The West Coast offense and the run and shoot clearly changed football as well. To me, I'm gonna conceptualize a little bit, generalize, should say. The spread offense is all the spread offense is the run and shoot and the West Coast offense combined. You know what I mean? I'm generalizing a little bit, and I'm not giving credit to people, but my point is the West Coast offense, 3-step drop, getting rid of the ball quick, run and shoot, which is spreading you out, those things grew because Buddy Ryan forced people to get away from 21 per. If you're going to line up with 2 running backs and 1 tight end, Buddy Ryan's going to dictate to you what is available because of the Bear defense. So for me personally, Hassani, it would be Buddy, is my answer to your question. But Rex, in my opinion, is exceptional at what he does. I think he's a great coach. I think Rex Ryan's an absolutely fantastic coach as a defensive coordinator. As a head coach, not so much. But he did go to 2 AFC title games with, the early version of Jimmy Garoppolo being the quarterback. So I mean, hey, I think Rex is a better coach than other people do. We probably have a difference of opinion about that with people. Alan, what a great point. Wink lost the locker room. Yep. I would agree. He was our linebacker coach. Wow, our linebacker play was not. I did not think our linebacker play was great coming out of camp, and I feel like you should be sharp coming out of camp. Watch Lamar hold on to this football because the corner stays. Watch this. Lamar's getting ready to throw this ball to Andrews. Watch him hold on to this football. I talk sometimes, but I still watch the film. You see him? He thinks Surtain's going to carry this, so he's going to go to Andrews. Tell me he can't recognize shit. That's BS, man. Absolute BS. It's a great play, man. Toast, no, I have not seen Aiden Hutchinson talk about McDonald. No. I did not. Oh, man, Hassani, me too. I'm a huge Rex Ryan fan. I'm with you, buddy. I just think this is a play that shows you that Lamar comes off his read, Alan, I've got an idea how to make it work, to be honest with you. I'm not going to verbalize it on YouTube. I'm going to talk about it with people on my Patreon. So, unfortunately I can't do the best sales I can't do the best sales pitch for it, Alan. Hey, buy this from me, and then I'll tell you how it's going to work. You know what I mean? I have a way to make it work, Alan. I mean, you know what it is. Just don't say what it is here. But there's a way I'm going to make it work with the college all 22, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm going to do it. Hassani, man, I'm still going back to your comment. It's so cool. I love meeting people who appreciate Rex and Buddy Ryan. I mean, Buddy Ryan, if you listen to players, think about it this way, going back to what I said earlier about Wink. If you listen to players talk about Buddy Ryan, players from that Bears team or players from that Eagles team. Now, the offensive players on the Eagles team didn't like him. That's a fact. And maybe the offensive players on the Bears team didn't like him either. But they were sure as hell glad they had him. I mean, he changed football. He changed football. That's a fact. He changed football. You know, he didn't change football as drastically as Lawrence Taylor did, because Lawrence Taylor was just a phenomenal athlete, you know, with a lot of attitude, you know, and aggressiveness playing. But Buddy Ryan changed football. So I'm a huge fan. Josh Enser, I agree. Good post-snap recognition. Yep. I mean, you guys can tell me, you know, what you think you see. What do you call it? Recency bias, when people only talk about what the media tells them to talk about for the last 3 days, last 4 days, last whatever. It's like if nobody, you know, with a tie on and some fake ass makeup on a screen tells you to talk about it, a lot of people don't talk about it at all. Lamar did a lot of great things in the first 8 weeks of the season. He played horrible against Cleveland at home, clearly. Played horrible. Didn't play good against Miami either. The hot, crazy matrix for coaches. Damn, it works for everything. Yes, Bradley, I agree. It was like Brown. There were times when Brown didn't run his route backside, and I don't know why that is. I don't know what that is. Yeah, Lamar played terrible against Cleveland. Cleveland did some cool things coverage-wise. They mixed up some things on him. They dropped the safety down from the backside. They did some cool things. But Lamar played bad against them. Just, okay, say it and move on. He also made some ridiculous plays against them, 2 of them, right? Even the last interception that he threw was bad. Exactly, Toast, exactly. Manberg, what's up, man? I'm glad to be back. I got a PC that was gifted to me by a family member. Not a brand new one, but a really, really nice one, and it's working great for this live stream so far. If you remember, I had a stream about a month ago where the PC crashed, my old PC crashed, and that was it. I mean, I'm trying to think who the jackass was that said, you have any plays where Lamar throws people open? First of all, that's the dumbest thing in the world. You can't throw people open. If a person ain't open, they're not open. That's right, Event Horizon. What a good point. I mean, like, throw people open. If a guy's open, he's open. But has there been times where he threw the football and a guy was not open, and then as the football arrived, you know, he was open? I don't have Luis. I can't do super chats on here because I don't have 1,000 subscribers yet. I gotta have 1,000 subscribers for super chats to be enabled. You can donate to the Cash App if you want. Hassani, did somebody say what? Josh Enzer said, hopefully McDonald has some style. He probably does. Copyright audio and video on my stream. All right. We'll not play that one again. It's like every video I made, they're saying it's copyrighted now. Thank you, Overnight. Glad you stuck around after, you know, I talked about, oh, I'm sure if this is from Chiefs game, it'll be some copyright content in here. Yeah, the throwing people open thing is just like, what are you saying? You know, what are you saying? Did I spell his name wrong? No. I don't know about you guys, but I think Bateman's going to have a ridiculous year next year. I think Lamar will have a great year next year, too. I agree. Yep. Tyrod, the goalpost will always be moved for Lamar. I agree. I agree. But that's society now too, for real. And I again, like I said earlier, I hate politics, but people do it all the time. People do it all the time. The goalpost moves, and it's like people just move on from whatever the goalposts were 2 weeks ago or a week ago. Now they move the goalposts on you. Then you're not allowed to talk about the dumbass shit that they said a week ago or 2 weeks ago or whatever. Detected copyright audio or video in your stream. It said this again. How do other people show? How do other people show all this stuff, man? Yeah, man. Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins will be back. It'd be great. Be great. Gonna be great. Overnight, man. Hope you enjoyed it. I think Bateman is exceptional at short to intermediate routes, getting open and finding space. I think he's exceptional at that. I think deep balls like we saw a minute ago. Maybe Bateman's not elite level, but I think he's elite. I think he's very good at a lot of things, and I think he's elite level at a couple of things. Bradley, you absolutely right. Ravens have to have an elite O-line next. Let's put it this way. You guys can tell me the situation. I believe that the Ravens can't the Ravens franchise Lamar for a year or two? Can't they do that? Me personally, I think they should go all in on offensive linemen. I think we have all the receiving talent that we need between Bateman, Duvernay, Brown, Andrews. I'm a big fan of Duvernay. I think Prochet and Tylan Wallace can contribute to this football team. I don't think they've really got to do much to address the receivers for real. To me, it should be O-line, 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 O-line. I would be okay. Man, we've got 16 picks. we got 16 picks. No, I know it's not 16. It's whatever. Me personally, I think we should go all in on offensive line. I think we should draft 3 or 4 offensive linemen, bring in some new blood, make these whoever does stay, Ben Cleveland, whatever, has to compete. Yeah, Bateman's got it, man. He's the real deal. Tyrod, yeah, I mean, I'm saying, do we have to sign Lamar to a contract right now, or are we able to franchise him and just, operate with whatever the league average is for the top whatever quarterbacks? I don't know that. I'm not going to pretend that I know all of those ins and outs. I do not. Yeah, I mean, D-line helped too. Also, I agree with that. Look, if Ahmad Gardner is there at 14, you have to take him. Just my opinion. Just the little bit that I've seen, I think you have to take him. I don't think you can pass him up. I do not. I think he walks in from day one and is a starter on every NFL team. Just from what I think I saw. Now, the only curious thing I had for Ahmad Gardner was he played to the boundary a lot in Cincinnati's defense. I've talked about X receivers, so a lot of times the X receiver is to the boundary. So when I say boundary, let me find one. Okay, so this is a perfect example. I thought it was here. You got 3 receivers to the field. There's the boundary here. There's the hash here. Whoops, sorry. So the boundary, the short side, is down here, right? The boundary's down here. So sometimes, a lot of times, that's where the X is. That's where he is. So you're like, for example, here, Ramsay, their best corner, is down here to the boundary. And then up to the top side of the field, you've got another corner You've got a nickel, a nickel, whatever you want to call him. You've got another safety. So Ramsay has less help down here to the boundary. He's also got less space to deal with too. But Ahmad Gardner was to the boundary a lot. Yep, I don't think we need any help at receiver at all. Someone had asked about Antonio Brown. No, I would not want to deal with that. I don't think he's an asshole. I don't think he's like, I don't know anything about him. I mean, I know what the perception is, but I don't know the truth. I know this. I totally disagree with Antonio Brown or anyone in the NFL catching what do you call it? Suspensions or fines because of a fake vaccine card. They were basically forced to go get the vaccine anyway and inconvenienced if they didn't. It doesn't, to me, it's a, to me, maybe I won't be able to explain this well. The way the NFL treated players for the vaccine requirement was a jailhouse mentality, if you ask me. It was, you're going to do this, and if you don't do this, we're going to inconvenience you so much that you have to go do this. So as far as Antonio Brown goes, do what I want him on the Ravens team? No. Is it because I think he's, a cancer, and I think he's this, and I think he's that? No, I don't. I actually side with him on having a fake vaccine card. I'm going to be honest with you. Would I do it myself? No. Would I want a family member to do that? No. But I wouldn't want a family member or myself to be forced to do something just so I didn't have to get tested every day. And then, later on in the season, we're going to make you all get tested every day, even if you are vaccinated. NFL switched up on people. Luis has a good point. He's a me first guy. That definitely seems to be the case if you listen to some things he says. But I can't spend mental energy and time, me personally, paying attention to someone to try to judge him. We have enough receiver talent to get the job done, if you ask me. And I think we have enough other needs to not have to go get a receiver. I mean, if a guy like Antonio Brown wanted to come in on, nothing, go ahead, take a chance on him. Go ahead and see what happens. But with this team, with the young receiver talent we have, I like what we have. To me, it's like I like what we have. We don't have a Hall of Fame receiver right now. We've got a Hall of Fame type tight end if he keeps going at the pace he's at. But I don't think we need him to have a solid receiving corps. But if he wanted to come in for a low salary, and see how he behaves, okay, fine. Fine. Alan makes a good point that they missed him with the Bucs. I would absolutely agree. Do I think it was handled well by the coaching staff in Tampa Bay, that whole situation? No, I don't. I don't think the coaches handled it well. I think Bruce Arians was lying. I do. But Antonio Brown's probably a difficult guy to deal with sometimes. But I think it's ridiculous. Like, oh man, Cordell Patterson would be awesome. Toast. I have 50 plays from Cordell Patterson's season. I'm working on a video now. Love his game. Love the impact he had. Man, that'd be great. Be great. I just don't. Some of the things Antonio Brown gets criticized for, and I guess he got fined and suspended for having a fake vaccine card. It's like, you assholes are the ones that set up the parameters that forced a person to make that decision. And then you, like, do y'all remember Rivera for Washington? How he talked about his players who didn't get a vaccine? It was like almost like shaming. So, but then some of the stuff Brown says, like the one podcast he went on, he was talking kind of silly. Yep. Well, and Toast, you make a good point about gadget players. My thing is Patterson is I think he's example of groupthink. And what I mean is, if a guy is used in a certain role for a certain amount of time, then that seems to be the only role that future teams will allow him to fit in. Someone, for whatever reason, in Atlanta, used him a different way, and look at the production that he had. You know what I mean? Look at production. I think highly of someone like Cordell Patterson. Don't know his personality at all, but 30 years old, something like that. I'm gonna disable my video for a second, guys, so I can pull some of that film up. So you guys got to give me a moment. I don't even remember what video it is. Well, shoot. There it is. You guys got to deal with a black screen for a moment. I apologize. I'm gonna pull up some of this video, man. I've been watching it, man. I have been having a good old time. All right, hopefully I can get the screen back up, and hopefully you guys aren't turned off by me. I wanted to show you that I was telling the truth, Toast or whoever it was. Jared, that's a good point. I mean, I don't think that Duvernay has any indication to me that he'd be able to do what Cordell Patterson can do. I'm trying to find this one play. It's a trap. There it is. It's a trap play. Oh, it is Arthur Smith. That's right. That's right, Hassani. You are absolutely right. I forgot. It is Arthur Smith. That's right. Wow. This is a trap play. This is an old school trap play. So they're going to pull the guard and they're going to trap a D tackle and run up inside of it. It's a cool play, man. Let's show it from the end zone angle. So versatile. So they're trapping this guy. So these guys are going to step to him initially, and then they're going to veer off. So they're trapping him because this guard is going to pull and kick him out. So basically he's being unblocked, but he's got somebody stepping to him for a moment. See the offensive lineman step to him, but they're not blocking him. They're just giving him some eye candy, something to deal with for a moment. And he's going here, and he's going here, and you got the kick out blocked by the guard. I love this play, man. Trap play's a great play. Patterson's just tough. That's how you say it, right? Patterson. I'm going to show you this play of him beating a safety. I'm giving away my my next video. That's Antonio. That's a great point. That's a great point right there. I would agree with that totally. I have not watched that podcast. Is that I forget the guy's name. He was a receiver. I would agree with that, Jared. We need to get the ball to him. I'm trying to find a couple of these plays. Look at this. So the man that just had it running back, now he's out here at the X. He's playing receiver again. And you know, look, does he run great routes? No. He's a little rigid. You know, but he gets the job done. He beats people. Brandon Marshall. Yeah, it was Brandon Marshall's podcast, right? Ain't that his podcast? That just looks like a blown coverage to me. That's not a good example. I should have found a better one. Sorry, guys. It's against the Saints. He beats a... He beats Quan Alexander. I think this is Quan Alexander down here. Hopefully I said his name right. I think it's Quan. Down here at the bottom, and this is Cordell Patterson down here at the bottom as well. He beats Patterson on this go route. Actually, it's a sluggo. I mean, look, he's not going to beat like a number one, corner on this stuff. I mean, when they play the Dolphins, though, here's a crazy thing. When they play the Dolphins put Howard. He's their best corner, right? They put Howard on him when he split out, and Howard got into him. I mean, look at that, man. That's a guy who plays running back one snap and then goes out there at receiver. That's awesome. Yeah, Bradley, I would agree with that. Debo, thank you, man. Yeah, reminding people would like the video. I'm trying to find. He beats a safety. Here it is. Here it is. So later on in the game, after he beat Quan Alexander, the next time they split him out wide, he's up top here. They put a safety on him at number 29. I don't even know who that guy is, but you got to think he's a better coverage guy than Alexander, right? They're playing a 4-1 in the box, so they got 4 down linemen and 1 inside backer. And he beats this guy up top. Bad. I mean, it could have been a touchdown. I would love to see a guy like Cordell Patterson with the Ravens, but like a couple people said, if he's here, then what happens with Duvernay? I really don't know that we need. I mean, I don't know that we need anyone to come in and be a receiver. I think we've got everything we need as far as receiver. You may get some undrafted free agent guys brought in at receiver, but I don't know that we're drafting it unless someone falls to us, you know. Oh yeah, I'm not saying the guy's a bad corner at all. I'm saying, in my opinion, Cordell Patterson was a force of nature this year. If you look at his stats, man, he had a great year. He had a great year. Yeah, Brandon Marshall seems cool to talk to, man. Did y'all ever see that video when Ray Lewis was talking to him about how defensive players prepare and stuff, and Brandon Brandon Marshall, I don't think he was being a jerk. He just he kind of tried to correct Ray Lewis on something, and Ray was like, "No, you don't understand. You don't understand how it works, brother." Here it is. So this is Patterson down here. The text is in the way. Sorry. This is Patterson down here against Howard. I mean, the Dolphins think highly enough of him that they put Howard on him. Now, maybe Howard just always plays on that side. I know he played on that side against the Ravens. But, I mean, they're getting into each other. He's getting into Patterson. And Patterson wants an interference call. He's pissed off. I get it. But I'm just saying there's a level of respect there, if you ask me. Nice, just a nice job. I do like Oliver. I do like Oliver. I think he's got some ability. I mean, I know it's against the Jaguars, but check this dude out, man. I know the Jaguars suck, and I think this inside linebacker plays this really bad, and I think this nose tackle plays it really bad, and so does this backside D tackle. Or maybe I'm thinking of the next play. Man, if we got Hayden Hurst back, that'd be awesome. I have watched enough Cordell Patterson film to tell you that Hayden Hurst is the same player he was for the Ravens. He got the same capabilities. Oh my God, this is bad. Why is this guy here? I mean, I don't know what he's doing. He can't see anything. His head's down. But Patterson runs well. I'll move on from Cordell Patterson in a moment. We have 2 great running backs coming back. Yep, I agree. Oh, yeah, Debo, I agree. Toast, I didn't get the chance to finish that video. I was still working on it when I got all the copyright strikes. Toast, I will be doing all 22 films on college stuff, but it will not be available on my YouTube. It'll be available on my Patreon and another platform. I might have to cut the stream off in a minute, guys. My wife might need me. I think that guy's a really good tight end from Texas A&M. I really like him a lot. Talented, good pass catcher, physical. So really like him, Toast. And Debo, I agree. If the Ohio State kid drops, like, what do we do? I mean, yeah. Gardner is the guy, to me, if he drops, we have to take. Yes. Allen, it's made a great point a couple minutes ago. More interested in a second receiving tight end. Yeah, I got to get ready to roll, guys. My wife needs me. If you're on my Patreon on my Discord, I'll probably jump back in about 15, 20 minutes. She needs me for something with my son. I appreciate you guys, first of all, joining the subscribing to the channel. I'm trying to rebuild it and get it going as much as I can. Hassani, totally agree. He has a fumbling problem. I agree. Totally agree. I'm definitely going to like to live stream some more now that I've got a PC that's capable of doing so, guys. If you get a chance to like the video, please do so. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. I would agree, Debo. Jordan Davis allows people to play light boxes. Man, I'm uploading all the old videos I had from my other channel just to have them. I want to have a record of them on my new channel. I'll maybe try to do a live stream or a reaction video tomorrow if I get the chance to really watch both games close. Who you guys picking? Let's get in here. Yeah, Josh, I'll drop a Patreon link in the comment section. Who you guys picking tomorrow? Let's get it out there on the table. I'm going to go ahead and underestimate the 49ers again. There's my picks. Weddle and the Chiefs. He said Weddle. Chiefs by 70. I like it, Hassani. Ooh, I like it. It's my pick in the 49ers. Me personally, I'm going to be entertained no matter who wins, for real. I'm okay with no matter who wins. I gotta go, guys, man. I appreciate you guys' time. I'll talk to you guys, man. Appreciate it. I'll drop a Patreon link in the comment section in about 10 minutes. And then what I do is for my Patreon, if you join the Patreon, then I give you a link to my Discord, and then you can join the Discord, and we can people meet in there and talk or message in there. It's just like a texting app. So, all right, fellas, appreciate you guys' time, man. Again, thank you guys for supporting the channel.